Hiya! Today I'd like to do a sketchbook tour, and I'll do this one first, and at some point soon I will do the people sketching sketchbook very soon as well. I literally finished those two on the same day. I was working in them simultaneously, so like I was drawing people in this one while drawing like all kinds of things in this one, and I also work in like bigger sketchbooks, but they take me a bit longer to fill. And I already have two that I need to open, so I'll unbox them, unwrap them on the video. So yeah, let's get started. If you are new here, my name is Kama. I'm also known as Weird is the Best on the internet, and you can find me pretty much everywhere under Weird is the Best. You can join my Patreon and that kind of stuff. You can also follow me here or Instagram and stuff like that. So here's the brand new sketchbook. It's the same one as the one I've just finished. It's by Art Creations. And the reason I use them so quickly is because they're very inexpensive, and I'm less precious in them about what I draw. So it's quite a good way of like freeing yourself out of any expectations to draw perfect pictures all the time. And if I want to draw something a bit more considered, I use one of my like more expensive sketchbooks, but these are my everyday sketchbooks. So yeah, I love them. They're inexpensive. I would love to be sponsored by them because yeah, I just love the brand. I use them every single day. And so yeah, this is a brand new version. It's off-white, and it's the most popular one from Royal Talents or Talents. I always call them Royal Talents. I think that used to be their name. And it's just really affordable way to draw. This one's 9 by 14 centimeters, and it's good for all kinds of media, light use of watercolor inclusive, and it's got, I forgot, 80 sheets of paper or 160 pages, so it's quite a lot. But given how small the pages are, you can fill them up quite quickly. And then I'll open this one up too, because I need something to sketch my, like people, to do my people drawings. So this one's also by Art Creations. It's called Art Nouveau? I can't remember, but it's like the pure white stock. So if you compare the two, the color is quite different. Oh, come on. And they have fancy covers. I'm on the lookout for the ones with the paintings on the covers. One day I'll grab them, but it's really hard to find them where I live. And my local art shop doesn't even have a single Art Creation sketchbooks, otherwise I'd constantly go there and buy them. But yeah, very similar, same kind of media. I found that the stock is a little bit different. It handles wet media a bit differently. And I have to say I don't really like it for wet media, but like tumble markers, which are water-based, are just right on it. Like, yeah. But I wouldn't use watercolor or ink in this. Okay, let's get into the sketchbook tour. So I've been filling these up for quite a while now, and I was really surprised because this one took me even less time, and I didn't plan. Like, it just happened. Like, I'm not trying to fill an entire sketchbook in a number of days. I don't know, I find those challenges a bit counterintuitive, and they discourage me from making because they put pressure on, and I just draw freely, whatever I want, however I want, for however long it takes me, you know? And it just happens that, you know, I've been inspired a lot and I've been drawing a lot. What helps a lot is joining drawing sessions, but we'll get to that. So this one has a sticker from Krystyna Baczyński. You should check their work out because it's really cool and fun and quirky, and like there's lots of geekiness in it as well. Yeah, I just love it. I always put like a sticker on the cover. I might put something on the back just to make it more interesting, but I didn't in this case yet. And what I do on the first page is I put on my the day I started and the day I finished. So it took me 27 days to fill 160 pages, plus all the other pages I filled in other sketchbooks. So it's quite interesting. I counted the pages last week of how much I drew in a week, because it was like someone shared it on Instagram stories to share your week. And I was really surprised by how many pages I filled. Anyway, so yeah, I started on the 1st of July and finished on the 27th. And I always put down what number day, I don't know how to say it was, because I started drawing every single day on, like, back in December, and I've been numbering them since. I just think it's a nice reminder of how long my streak is, but then if I break it, I'll just start it from 1 again, and I don't think it's going to be end of the world. Yeah, I stuck the details of the sketchbook here. I always put my details just so if I lose it, which happened to me before, someone can actually will know like who to contact. And I drew this, so I drew a similar one on the last page of my previous sketchbook, and I decided to draw him on the first page as well, just as a reminder. And I literally just broke his back. It's not very nice looking. Let me just zoom in a little bit. It's not like the best fox ever, obviously, but it removes the pressure of making perfect pictures all the time. Also, apologies if you can hear my fan going in the background. We have to have it on because it's so hot. So I carried on. This is my old design. I used to draw lots of like quirky, weird, broken up people, like really weird positions, and oh, my laptop just came on. Okay, I had to switch my laptop off because it makes quite a lot of noise. Yeah, so that's back from when I started drawing in 2020-ish. And then I wasn't really sure what to draw, and I needed some inspiration, and that's something that I really want to practice, so I drew some mouths. It was a study from Etherington Brothers. They share quite a lot of tips online, and you can buy their books. Their books are really good. I have one. This is just a size for some of the art, for an artwork I was making for a Whip Comics anthology, which I'm just finishing off today, or this week rather. It's like a Kickstarter that they organize. And it's really fun, but that's not what we're talking about here. Here I joined the Odd Orange session, and we drew birds. I watched it as a replay, and I recorded the process, and my friend Lucy and I are planning to kind of give each other feedback based on that video. I also spoke to Morgan and like checked with her that she was okay with that, but that will be coming to Patreon when we can both get together. And there's some technical difficulties with like sending big files over and stuff. Here's yeah, just more birds from that session. I was experimenting, just trying different things. Yeah, it was a bit more pressure when I started drawing on that session because it was meant to be talked about rather than just drawing for myself, if you know what I mean. So I was like, it was unnecessary pressure, but I put it on myself. And then I was just like let loose and enjoyed it from then on. I think I used 2 different sketchbooks, so you only see a part of it here. I really like how this one came out. It's very loose and free. And it's not like Instagram ready, you know what I mean? It's just my drawing and the way I felt about drawing it. Here is some sparrows. Here are some sparrows. Again, difficult pose. I was quite proud of this. Not perfect, but I quite enjoyed it. And here we have a crane. You can see the times on how long we had to draw each. And this was like either the next day or something. I used my magic pencil, just trying to get inspired. You know, you won't be always inspired, but I like pushing through it. Like if I really didn't want to draw, I probably wouldn't, but I like pushing myself to do at least a little bit, and then if I don't like it, I'll leave it. But as long as I've made 1 page in a day, I count that as a success. And you know, very often it will lead to a lot more. So like you will see on some of these pages. So here I wasn't really inspired. Here I just drew some designs for a Patreon print that might be an August print. I haven't decided yet. Some ideas. Drew from life. I think I was at a cafe. Sketches for the comic for Whip Comics. Here I have this weird refracting kind of tape, not tape, like piece of plastic that I got from an open day at a local university. Like it was all science focused and like optics and things like that. Here I redrew my old drawing. All of these are, so I was just trying to, you know how some people just draw what's in their comfort zone, and I always struggle with that. I couldn't like work out what it was that I enjoyed drawing the most, so I started redrawing my old things and seeing what comes out of it, you know. Here's a Draw This in Your Style from Ashes Green. I should have put down the handle rather than just the hashtag, but you can find it by going on Instagram and putting that in. I quite like this. I was trying to get more confident with my, I still am, but this was like the beginnings with graphite. So this is just graphite and a bit of highlighter pen. Here's a page I drew for, I wrote for The Artist's Way in week 1. So you're supposed to just start with I'm a prolific original artist and write it like 10 times, which was quite fun. Here are more Draw This in Your Style challenges. Selenada, I'm sorry if I don't pronounce it right, selenada.art for their 70k followers. And Anna Barbosa.illustra, really fun one. And they actually reached out to me, like commented on my entry, which was really nice. This one's by G_Haller. This was really fun reference. There was lots and lots to kind of draw, and the important bit in this particular one was her hearing aids, so I made sure to include that. And yeah, really fun, like really enjoyed the clothing and everything. And here's one by Maya Artsy. Not my favorite, like in terms of how I drew it, but it was a really nice reference photo. Here I was kind of uninspired, so I tested out some new graphites, just different types of graphite. You won't know which ones you prefer until you try them, because they're all different, like slightly different, and everyone will have their own preference. So yeah, if you're not sure either, I would say maybe try different ones. Here's the Odd Orange session from the 9th, and this one I did live. I think I joined late and I was really stressed because I couldn't get in. It was one of their free sessions, and I was just trying to warm up. So this one was with, I forgot the name. It completely slipped my mind as soon as I wanted to say it. I don't know what's wrong. So I was using graphite for most of the session, and then I was kind of unsure how to draw this one, so I drew it with Tombow markers. And this one was quite hard, but this I really enjoyed, and I was really warmed up and happy as I was drawing this, so it was great. And it inspired me to draw some views from the Random Street View and from Pexels, which are so Random Street View is a website where you can travel the world basically and find Google Maps like images, you know, like the street view images randomly, and you can pick and mix and yeah, draw these. And then Pexels is a royalty-free site where you can find free references, and because of the nature of the site, all of the artwork there is royalty-free by permission from the photographers who may take the pictures, so it's really nice in terms of, you know, that you have permission to draw them and share it online and things like that. More Random Street View scenes. I really like this reference. It was very busy, but I think I like how it turned out. And I like that area so much that I drew more. So this one's from like the opposite side of the street. Yeah. I joined Art Hang Party and we were drawing snails. This was a replay and I didn't finish them because it was quite late. So I don't know why I never came back to them, but they were really fun. Because I always think that snails are really difficult to draw. And also they all kind of look the same, but actually not really, because you can see 3 different views and they're all different on this reference, so yeah. I added a little smile on this snail because I couldn't resist. Some more snails, and I drew my cat character. He featured, or she featured, in my Patreon print recently, and wallpaper or something. Yeah, not very inspired. I wasn't warmed up and I just drew this goose. And here, a random street view. I think I tried to draw this really fast. And then I went on and drew more. And, you know, this demonstrates how you start the day and you don't really feel like drawing or aren't very good at it. Good in inverted quotes, whatever they're called. And then as you warm up, you get better. And this is a great example of that because I really enjoyed these. And I use monochromatic, just a single color for each image. I use my Tombow markers. And yeah, this was like a moment where I felt really started feeling really confident in that style of drawing, and it inspired me to do so many more, as you can see here. So sometimes I just pick out one building, sometimes like the surrounding vegetation, or like a street lamp, or sometimes the lines, and occasionally if the view isn't that interesting, I'll pick out some car or vehicle that I want to draw. I'm definitely learning how to draw vehicles. I'm not the best, but it's a good practice. Like this like tractor thingy here. This is from a session with Katie Moody, and this was drawing night scenes. And she demonstrated first how to like pick out different colors. So picking up a light shade, medium shade, and mid-tone, light tone, mid-tone, and dark tone. And how it doesn't really matter which colors you combine, as long as, well, it does matter, but you can pick out any colors and make them look good by making sure you mix those 3 values. I didn't really feel like I was doing so well, but you know, it's practice and I'll get better if I try it more and more. This one I quite like, just because it's kind of cute. And this one, not my best, but I did it. And some more, I think they're all from, yeah, so all of that is from one day. So it started with this ugly duckling and some scribbles, and it blew into all of these. Actually, I think this might be the next day, but either way, it really inspired me. I stopped putting the names of the places here because I quite like the mix and kind of making it look like it's all the same place, even though they're from completely different parts of the world. I thought it was really fun. And the way I achieve like darker tones on these is I just layer the brush pen more and more until it gets darker. Don't know if you can see that very well. So I use both sides. I sketch with the thin nib, and then I use the brush to fill in the details. Another art hang party, and this was a brilliant one. We were drawing funny animal still, so Melissa went on, I think TikTok or somewhere, and took screenshots of some really fun meme videos, and they were amazing. I did add my own text to them, but they were howling, for example. Amazing dogs, like it was so funny. And then we had this bear on a slide, and I added my text. I'm scared of heights. What do I do now? We all know the situation where we climbed something that we couldn't get down from. Then there was this, it's not gorilla, oh I forgot, holding something like a snowball or something, ready to hit someone. Then there was this cutest pair, a duck and a dog, a tiny doggo sleeping on its back. It was so cute. And I really like how I drew the duck. The dog doesn't look the most natural on it, but it was so fun. Giraffe eating something, hair of the kid's head. And then we had this guy, and Melissa said that he looks like Vincent. Was it Vincent Vega from Pulp Fiction? And I could not unsee it since then. Like, she mentioned it on someone else's drawing, which was very uncanny. This one's maybe less like him, but it's so funny. Now every time I see him, I think of that film. There was a panda, a doggo. I didn't notice, but it was sitting in like some water and looking at a ball really sadly. There was a cat having a bath, and even though I thought the cat hated every minute of it, Melissa said that the video showed the cat loving it, so that was really interesting. And then there was this doggo jumping into a pool with a shark in it. I thought it was swimming, so I drew it swimming, but it was about to jump in. And then a parrot riding some weird thingy, and a dog on a skateboard. And she also mentioned that I can't remember about the parrot, but that the dog really loved the skateboard. Like, he would go on it by himself and try and ride it. I don't know why I put this text on, but there was a dog that looked like it was hanging off a balloon, but I think someone was holding it, but yeah, scared someone. Scared the owner, basically. When I said beam me up, I didn't mean lift me up. I don't know. And there was this cat in the bathtub looking very angry and plotting revenge. Really funny. I didn't really portray him in the same way that it was proper evil look. And there was a dog trying to steal an orange through the window of an open car. No one will notice if I sneak one in. Shh. This one we drew upside down, so it was like a chipmunk, but we drew it this way. So we saw the image upside down and we drew it upside down. Quite a good practice. I need to do it more. And there was this, I think, dolphin. Oh Jesus, I forgot the name. And this cat was also very wet and confused. Oh, here's my washi tape. I'm so proud of this washi tape. I wanted washi for so long, but when I eventually had it, it was such a nice feeling. Oh, and this animal, I'm forgetting words for animals right now, that went into someone's house through a dog, like a cat flap for dogs. I don't know what they're called, dog flap. And it was so hilarious. Like, how did it get through such a small gap? I don't know. And I saved some stickers from Sophie McPike's parcels. Yeah, I ordered some stickers and zines a while ago, and I saved the envelopes. I love saving stickers. I think there's something special in them, so I always leave them. Then this is just something from my lesson on urban sketching. And then I think this was in the evening, I started drawing from random street view again. I just really love how detailed you can make something just with one color. And that really makes me want to go back into Copic markers, but I still haven't found good paper for it. I have one, but it's on a pad, it's not a sketchbook, so yeah, I don't know. If you know any, please drop it in the comments. I think actually someone mentioned Render Sketchbook, but it's really pricey and hard to get. Anything similar, anything that won't have the marker bleed onto another page. So like with a water-based brush marker, it will bleed, but only when you layer it quite a lot. With alcohol markers, like Copics are, it will go straight through the paper on like a slightest touch. So yeah, I don't really like that. Some more buildings, and so you can see like I'm trying to be quite selective with what I draw, with what I pick out of each image. So like there were some cars here, I think, but I decided not to draw them. And like I drew this massive tree, I loved it. And this is like a more busy view. I really like how all of it turned out. And it's got a kind of, what's it called? Graphic novel vibe for some reason. I might have to experiment with that for my own graphic novel. So that might be a good style. It does take a lot of time though, so I'll have to think about that. But it will be quite interesting. Here I was drawing people from life and obviously not warmed up and didn't really do that well, but it's only a first page. This is like the best simplified head side profile that I've ever drawn, even though it doesn't have any detail on it. I just think there's something in it that like portrays this person very well. And then I was drawing like people from a cafe walking past to the shop, and it was really hard, like they move so fast. You have to like look, remember, and then draw them quickly, and they're gone by the time you look up. So I was trying. This person was sitting down, so it was a bit easier, but I've struggled. And some more people. I think I caught this person's face, and then I drew someone else's hand and like bag and stuff. This was my drink. It was really weird. Why do local cafes, when you sit in it and order your coffee, why do they have to use plastic? Makes no sense to me. So wasteful. I don't know why. I was a bit annoyed. Okay. Some more people. I really like drawing the cup, but it's so hard because they all move. You have to kind of pick one thing and move on to the next person and take from the other person. Anyway. Got some new lead, pencil lead. Some receipt. This one I drew at a local university. So we just went for a meal there and had boba tea. And they were having graduation day, so there were lots of people taking their pictures just outside the window, and I had a chance to draw them. And I also saw this this tree through the window rather, and drew that too. I used my Fudenowskie. I just love that pen so much. I think I used it so much that I used it up on that day. Yeah, these were a bit easier to draw because the clothing was very plain, like, you know, their gowns are very simple. Everyone had the hat on their head, so that simplified things because I knew that they would have a hat on their head. And yeah, I just kept drawing. And there was a bike on the, like, against the wall, which was really cool. Bikes are really hard to draw. And here, I think I drew the same person 4 times, but I made it because he was with his friends, but I could only see him very well. I think maybe 2 different people, but yeah, I kept like drawing the same person. Here I was just testing things out. That might be in my video when I was testing the new pen. And I was just demonstrating things. And I was showing what a parallel pen can do. Pilot parallel pen. Which a lot of people use for like urban sketching, and I think that's what I was talking about here. But it does, I don't think this one bled, but this ink definitely did bleed through the page. And here I got my new washi tape. I ordered it a while ago. It took them almost 2 months to deliver it. I was getting a bit annoyed at the end because Anyway, it got here. I would not leave the name of the company, but I would not recommend them, basically. It was very frustrating, because I thought I would never get it. They just ignored me for most of the time. And I still haven't got my product photos, which I paid for. Anyway, rant over. I didn't mean to have a rant, but hey. I made this washi tape based on fungi. And I really, really enjoyed designing it. I was really scared to order it because it's quite a pricey thing to order. You have to get quite a few. It's a big commitment. So I really hope people actually want it. But if not, I have a lifetime supply of washi tape. And the fishy one, which is a bit smaller. So these are a blank because I wanted to take pictures of it. Like, yeah. Anyway, it doesn't have to be all filled. Here's another session from the Odd Orange. And I had to put some paper in between. So I always reuse like paper scraps and save them for this. And we drew film stills, and I used first I decided to just draw with graphite, and then I realized I had loads of time left, so I grabbed my Neocolor 2s and just filled in all the detail, and that was really fun. I didn't expect it to be. So this one's from the film Atonement, which I still haven't seen. I really need to watch it. And this one's from The Man Who Wasn't There. Really hard reference for me. For some reason, I don't like drawing men, but this one came out better than I expected. And the Grand Budapest Hotel, really fun reference. They were in the lift. And I decided not to worry at all about how they looked, like whether they were any good or not. And I think that really helped in being free and enjoying it. I started the session being really exhausted from work and like not really up for doing much. I had to be in the office that day, and yeah, I really struggled. And I was, yeah, just really tired. And, you know, by this picture, I was loving life again. You know, sometimes it can be a bit draining. This one's from Django Unchained. Really, really cool scene, and I'm really proud of my tree. This one's from Color Purple, which I haven't seen. Really fun scene. Yeah, it was like a reflection in the river or pond or something. I thought it was going to be a challenge, but I actually really enjoyed drawing it. And Giant, which I've never seen either, and Peter von Kant. That was the last one. You can see how much I enjoyed it, and I would never be confident enough to draw this car, but this session really helped me free up. And I tried to keep going after, but kind of, I don't know, I didn't pick the right colors or something. And then I kept going with the same approach, so I drew some cuts. And here I was trying out. So here I drew, on all of these, I drew with graphite first and then filled in with color. And here I swapped it around, so I drew with Neocolors first and then drew with graphite on top. And this was just my 0.7 graphite pencil or 0.5 graphite pencil. And some more street view drawing. So I started out with this building and then found this tractor. And then some of the views were just not much, like there were lots of fields and things like that, and I didn't really want to draw that, so I decided to draw the power lines, which is something that I really love looking at, because I'm really like that. And I had fun. And then I watched a replay from the Scribble Brigade by Sophie McPike, and this one was Guess What I'm Drawing session. This was part 2. And Sophie started with showing us a very blurry image, like you couldn't tell what was in it, and had us guess draw detailed images of what we thought it was, which was in my mind pretty much impossible. You wouldn't tell by this first one, but the second one was just impossible. And then she revealed it, and we drew it again from the actual picture. I think here my first version was better. I don't know, I was just not feeling this. I couldn't. Yeah. Here I just gave up and I drew the house, even though I knew it probably wasn't there. Another art hang party, and this was so good. I joined it live. This was like on a Thursday after, like, on Thursday is a day where I can spend more time drawing after work. So it starts at midnight my time, and I think it finished at like 2 or 2:30 in the morning. And we were supposed to combine all the references into one picture and create like a party, but I couldn't imagine that. I don't know, sometimes you just know what will work better for you. So I broke the rules and I drew like the references separately as a comic that kind of meant to be at the same party. And also it's quite a small sketchbook, so I would have struggled to fit them all in. Meg, we're running low on punchy punch. I don't know, I just had fun. As we go further and further into this made-up party, my text is getting worse and worse. I think we gave this person a name, but I forgot what that was. We'll find it later because I mentioned her name again. I really liked her expression and everything. Oh, Linda, that was Linda. This was a party on the boat. I don't know, I was just making things up. Oh, this one had someone throwing, like, this was something, some weird object in the air. I was very blurry. And when I drew it, I was like, it looks a bit like poop, so I had to make it not look like poop, if that makes sense, because it was a bit weird. I really like everyone's expressions, the way I drew them. It was just really, really free and fun. Where is the shrink tree? Oh, it's coming. They were like, what's it called? Vintage party photos. This was a woman chugging down a bottle of champagne. Oh, can't take her anywhere. Here I drew tomatoes. It's actually my plushie. And I was trying to finish, like, to keep drawing with my Fudenosque that I was using earlier in the sketchbook, but it was running really, really low. I don't know, is he cute? Maybe. I think he is. And then, oh, I joined a drawing session by Ruby at ETC, or Ruby etc. With the London Drawing Group. And this was like an online session as well. And she mentioned this quote, and I was thinking that I said that a few days before. I either heard that before or I made that up myself too. But it was a quote from Linda Barry and she paraphrased it, so it's not exactly the same, but it was about moving your hand quicker than your brain can think, and this way you create like better, more free illustrations. And I found that, like, in some of these recent ones, I realized that as well. And then she had us draw the same image 9 times. and this is the number of seconds we had. And we could have looked at the reference, but we had decreasingly smaller and smaller numbers of seconds. Like, this was 5 seconds. Can you draw a tiger in 5 seconds? I mean, I had to really simplify. So I stuck it in. Some of the drawings from that session are in my other sketchbook that I also finished. I finished both sketchbooks in that session, which was really fun. We drew some dots on the page and we had to connect them. Then we drew I drew a blind contour, but I think it was just supposed to be a blind drawing, so you could have lifted your pen as a self-portrait. And then 5 drawings in 10 minutes. So I drew a chewing gum, a gum that was chewing, a train of thought. That was something that someone else said in the call, and I was like, now I have to draw it. So I drew a small train, and then I lost my train of thought. Bye. And then there were supposed to be like the most ridiculous things we can think of, and the first thing that came to mind, she challenged us, and I challenged myself to just try and draw it. A gum that's disgusted by the shoe rather than the person stepping into the gum being disgusted. And time is flying when you're having fun, and the time is flying. I'm having fun, I think. And that was the last page of my sketchbook. So yeah, 160 pages in 27 days. Who would have thunk? I am ready to start the new sketchbook and can't wait to share the other one with you. Let me know if you have any favorite pages or anything like that, or if you also feel lots of sketchbooks or not lots of sketchbooks. I recently shared a video sharing my thoughts on that, like how to draw every day and how to show up and how to stay inspired. So do check that out. That was in celebration of my 200 days of drawing. So yeah, that video is full of tips and things that help me. You can also watch lots of swatching videos and unboxings and things like that, as well as some paint-alongs and draw-alongs. Sometimes I just take out my art materials and I record that. So yeah, I think that's it. If you enjoyed, give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. It really helps my channel grow, and it helps more people find the channel, so that more people can share my art journey. I'm also on Patreon, which you can join from free, or you can pay for some physical tier rewards and things like that, digital rewards, updates, sketchbook dumps, and that kind of good stuff. So that will be it. Have a lovely day artsing and sketchbooking, and until next time, bye. Ta-da.